Ingrid of Sweden, born Ingrid Victoria Sophia Louisa Margareta on 28 March, 1910 at the Royal Palace in Stockholm. Ingrid was Queen of Denmark from 20 April, 1947 to 14 January, 1972 as the wife of King Frederik IX. She was the third child and the only daughter of Gustav Adolf, Crown Prince of Sweden, and his first wife, Princess Margrethe of Connaught. Her mother was a daughter of Queen Victoria's third son Prince Arthur, Duke of Connaught and Strathern, by his wife Princess Louise Margaret of Prussia. Ingrid and her family lived in apartments in the Royal Palace in Stockholm, in a mansion at Ulriksdal, near the capital, and in a summer residence, Sofiero Palace in Helsingborg, Scania in southern Sweden. Crown Princess Margaret founded a school for Ingrid with a small circle of Swedish noble girls. Ingrid was also given some domestic instruction as part of her education. As a child, she practiced cooking in her model cottage on the palace grounds and even washed the dishes after meals. In 1920, when Ingrid was just 10 years old, her mother died from sepsis while in the 8th month of her 6th pregnancy. After her mother's death, Ingrid spent several months of each year in the United Kingdom in the care of her grandfather. Ingrid's strong self-discipline was shaped as an effect of her mother's death. Her father remarried Lady Louise Mountbatten 3 years later. Only a stillborn daughter resulted from her father's second marriage. Ingrid felt betrayed by her father when he remarried, and she was unkind to Crown Princess Louise. Ingrid and her father would not reconcile until many years later. Ingrid was taught history, art history, political science, and learned several languages. Her knowledge of art and culture was extended by long stays in Paris and Rome. Along with her father, stepmother, and brother Prince Bertil, Ingrid took a 5-month journey through the Middle East between 1934 and 1935. She was interested in sports, especially horse riding, skiing, and tennis. Ingrid made her debut at the opening of the Swedish Riksdag in 1928 when she was noted to be smartly dressed. She was also noted to be an accomplished linguist, horsewoman, skier, skater, and dancer. She often played tennis against her grandfather King Gustav V. During her young adulthood, Ingrid was often seen driving her 2-seat car around Stockholm. Besides gaining a reputation as a stylish young woman, she was known as being quite attractive. The question of Ingrid's marriage was a hot topic of conversation in the 1920s. She was matched with various foreign royalties and was seen by some as a possible wife for the heir apparent to the British throne, the Prince of Wales, who was her second cousin. Her mother, Margaret of Connaught, and the then Prince of Wales' father, King George V, were first cousins, both being grandchildren of Queen Victoria. In 1928, Ingrid met the Prince of Wales in London. However, no engagement took place. She was also considered as a match for Prince George of the United Kingdom, the fourth son of King George V. On 15 March, 1935, shortly before her 25th birthday, her engagement to Frederick, the Crown Prince of Denmark and Iceland, who was 11 years her senior, was announced. They had gotten engaged in private in the beginning of February. They were related in several ways. As descendants of Oscar I of Sweden, they were third cousins. Through Leopold, Grand Duke of Baden, they were third cousins. And finally through Paul I of Russia, Frederick was a fourth cousin of Ingrid's mother. The couple was married in Stockholm Cathedral on 24 May, 1935 by the Archbishop of Uppsala, Erling Idem. Ingrid wore the veil of Irish lace her late mother, Princess Margaret of Connaught, had worn at her wedding 30 years earlier. The veil has since been worn by all of Ingrid's female descendants as well as her granddaughter-in-law Mary Donaldson. She wore a crown of myrtle from a shrub her mother had brought with her from Osborne House in England to Sofiero Palace in Sweden. Carrying a sprig of myrtle in the wedding bouquet is a tradition that maintains to this day in the Swedish royal family and, with Ingrid, has continued into the Danish royal family when she brought cuttings from the shrub at Sofiero to be planted at Fredensborg Palace. Ingrid's second cousins Princess Ragnhild and Princess Astrid of Norway served as bridesmaids while Count Gustav Bernadotte of Wisborg, son of Folk Bernadotte, was a page boy. Among the guests at the wedding were Frederick's parents, King Christian X and Queen Alexandrine of Denmark, Ingrid's father and stepmother, Crown Prince Gustav Adolf and Crown Princess Louise of Sweden, and Ingrid's grandparents, King Gustav V of Sweden and the Duke of Connaught and Strathern. as well as the King and Queen of the Belgians and the Crown Prince and Crown Princess of Norway. The Swedish royal barge Vasaorden transported the couple to Dannebroge, the Danish royal yacht, on the 24th of May. 2 days later, they arrived in Copenhagen aboard the yacht before leaving for a honeymoon to Rome. Her wedding was one of the greatest media events of the day in Sweden in 1935, and received so much attention that the media were criticized for it. Ingrid also appeared on the radio in 1935 and read a poem, something that was also given much attention. The couple had 3 daughters, Margrethe II of Denmark, born April 16, 1940. Princess Benedict of Denmark, born April 29, 1944. Princess Anne-Marie, later Queen of Greece, born August 30, 1946. Their marriage lasted for nearly 37 years until King Frederik IX's death on January 14, 1972. While she was Crown Princess, she was the official patron of the Girl Guides, 1936, after having taken, and passed, the same tests all applicants were given. In 1940, before the occupation, she was the leader of the Danish Women's War Effort Society. During the German occupation of Denmark in World War II, Ingrid, with her personal courage and integrity, influenced the Danish royal house and its conduct in relation to the occupation forces, and won great popularity as a symbol of silent resistance and public patriotic moral. She showed solidarity toward the Danish population, and could often be seen on her bicycle or with her baby carriage on the streets of Copenhagen during the war. Her open defiance of the occupation forces made her grandfather, King Gustav of Sweden, worry about the risks, and in 1941, he sent a demand to her to be more discreet for the sake of the dynasty and its safety, but she reacted with anger and refused to obey, and she had the support of her spouse, who shared her views. One display of defiance shown by Ingrid was her positioning of the flags of Denmark, Sweden, and the United Kingdom in the window of the nursery at Amalienborg, the royal residence in the center of Copenhagen. Upon her husband's accession to the throne on the 20th of April, 1947, she became the Queen of Denmark. As such, she reformed the traditions of Danish court life, abolished many old-fashioned customs at court and created a more relaxed atmosphere at official receptions. She was interested in gardening and art, and renovated the Grafton Slot according to her own historical research about the palace's original appearance. In 1972, King Frederik IX died, and Ingrid was widowed at the age of 61. Her elder daughter, aged 31, became the new queen, and Ingrid now assumed a position as family matriarch. That same year, after having sworn to respect the Danish constitution, she was appointed formal regent and representative of the monarch whenever her daughter, and later her grandsons, were absent, a task she performed on many occasions. This was exceptional. Previously, only the Crown Prince had been allowed to act as regent in the absence of the monarch. She was patron of a long line of social organizations, positions which, one after another, she eventually left to Princess Benedict as years passed. She also founded the organizations. As she was described as dutiful, well-prepared and energetic. Queen Ingrid died on the 7th of November, 2000 at Fredensborg Palace, Fredensborg, with her 3 daughters Queen Margrethe II, Princess Benedict and Queen Anne-Marie of Greece and 10 grandchildren at her bedside. Thousands gathered outside Amalienborg Palace, her official residence, after her death was announced. Flowers were left, candles were lit and hymns were sung in her honor. Her funeral took place on the 14th of November, 2000, and Ingrid was interred next to her husband, King Frederik IX, outside Roskilde Cathedral near Copenhagen. The funeral was attended by many crowned heads of Europe and other heads of state, among them King Carl XVI Gustaf and Queen Sylvia of Sweden, Queen Sophia of Spain, Queen Beatrix of the Netherlands, King Harold V and Queen Sonja of Norway, King Albert II and Queen Paula of Belgium, Grand Duke Jean and Grand Duchess Josephine Charlotte of Luxembourg, Charles, Prince of Wales, Prince Albert II of Monaco, President of Iceland Olafur Ragnar Grimsson and former President of Finland Mono Koivisto.